Hello and welcome to the trade setup. In this video we are looking at Cipher mining. It is time for another update, and an update was requested by one of the viewers, so I wanted to let you know that anyone can make these requests and I will most likely cover them, especially if there is an actionable trade setup to follow. Now on this chart we are tracking a couple of different scenarios, yeah? One is more immediately bullish, and even in the short and the long term, one of them might need a deeper retracement before we see continuation higher. Now, in white, we have the impulse that we are tracking in a double 1-2-1-2 setup in this area, and then we are looking to form here the third wave to the upside. Now, within this wave tree, we would still need quite a few extensions to have a full pattern. Yeah, I would need even internally here to push directly higher for this interpretation to work out. But we also have the orange scenario in which we have a larger singular wave 1 to the upside, a wave 2 correction, and then here we have an ABC pattern that we are tracking instead, as we are tracking a larger leading diagonal to the upside. And I have to say, even within the orange interpretation, I would like to see further extensions, but I have to say it doesn't need to form any additional highs to have a full count within this wave A, right? The wave A does have enough waves. It is sufficient to be tracking this as an ABC structure to the upside as a larger wave A as part of this even larger wave tree, which is why we are tracking this backup scenario if we end up failing to push directly higher. Now, as I was mentioning, we are right now tracking ideally extensions higher within both scenarios. So internally, we have been tracking a couple of ideas as well, where in white we were looking for the wave 3 top to have already formed, and we were looking for the retracement here into the wave 4 area of support between the $17 level all the way down to the $10.9 level at the 50% retracement. Then we did have the yellow scenario within which we were looking even for a possible extension here within the fifth wave to the upside. It wouldn't have been surprising if we managed to create such a pattern, but yeah, it clearly seems to have failed. We didn't manage to hold the area of support and not even hold the 1-2 setup in any way. It is fully invalidated, so we cannot really be tracking the orange or the yellow scenario anymore. Which leaves us with just this small area of support to be looking for further extensions higher. Now, within this pattern to the downside, we have pushed into the 38.2% retracement, which is the ideal target for the wave 4. It is often that, in the wave 4, we are heading towards this target as a stop. We are being drawn towards this target within the wave 4 correction, and it more often than not is the point where the reversal to the upside in the wave 5 starts. Now, it may be the case this time as well, but I am cautioning that I may even be able to be tracking this movement to the downside as a 5-wave structure, yeah? A 1, 2, 3, 4th, and the 5th could be being tracked in this area, and in that case, I would be watching out for an extension in this wave 4, if not something more bearish in the orange scenario. But in any way, I would at this point actually even prefer that we extend further lower. Yeah, it doesn't need to be into the orange area of support. It can still work out even within the white scenario, but I do see this pattern that is a risk to taking us to lower prices. In that case, I would be watching out for a resistance area between the actually, let's use a different color. Let's use yellow since we don't use it anymore. Between the $16.9 all the way up to the $22 level. And as long as we hold here below the 78.6% retracement, there is still actually a good chance that we will see an extension of this correction. Now, in white, we will continue to track the possible bottom and we will be looking for the fifth wave to the upside. But in yellow, we will have this solution that would allow an extension where, we are actually looking for a zigzag pattern where we only completed the wave A, possibly even the wave B, but no evidence at this point, and then we are looking for an additional 5-wave move to the downside in the wave C. Now, in that case, in this very short time frame, we may actually be able to track a nano 5-wave structure to the upside, but at this point, I would actually still need another high to have more clarity within this pattern to consider it fully a 5-wave move, because this looks to me more like a 1, 2, 3 that has formed so far. And even this structure internally, I would like to still see another high, or it may be considered a 1 2 1 2 setup, then an internal wave 3, a fourth and a fifth. But yeah, this is on the very micro time frame. So as a general area of support for continuing directly higher, I will be watching out for this wave 4 between the $16.5 all the way down to the $15.5 level at the 50% retracement. And if we are to actually push directly higher, I won't be asking for this as a requirement to really be tracking this third wave as full. I will be tracking this area of support anyway, but ideally we extend directly higher within this pattern directly, where I would like to form a couple of additional highs to have more clarity of a complete wave 3 in this area. And in that case, we can even track here a super nano micro, however you may call it, area of support for the wave 4, which we even maxed out completely. Yeah, we have pushed into the 50% retracement. We have even gotten a wick below it, which by the way is perfectly fine. That we need, but we need to hold this to actually extend higher, yeah, push higher within this fifth wave to the upside. Now keep in mind, it is a very small time frame. It might even break before I actually get to post this video, and I wouldn't get too caught up in the internals here. It could turn into something even more bullish. It is just as a guidance, yeah. If we are to break here the 50% retracement, it is rather likely than not that we should be looking for the larger area of support for the correction here in the wave 4. Now we can even add here a small label, but I won't be doing that for the extension here within the wave 3. Instead, I will be focusing here for the larger wave 4 correction. Then if we manage to create here this 5-wave move to the upside, well, that would actually be a pretty good sign that even if we haven't necessarily started from a large time frame perspective, the actual 5th wave to even new highs, we should at least be looking forward for a larger ABC pattern to extend within this wave B, yeah? The same way we are tracking in the yellow scenario, a 5-wave move to the downside, which suggests further continuation lower. We can track internally a 5-wave move to the upside, which suggests after the 3-wave correction, further continuation higher in a 5-wave move. This is ideal, and it could still work out even within the extension here of the wave B. Yeah, it would fit very much and very well within the larger area of resistance that we are tracking in yellow after all, and it wouldn't need to break to form such a structure. Then yeah, if we are to form the 5-wave structure, we can look for the retracement, the correction in wave 2 for a potential trade setup here on the micro time frame. But again, it is on the small time frame. It is not a high probability setup, because these small time frame structures do fail all the time, and they need to be taken for what they are, which is, yeah, they do have potential. They do have a higher probability amongst other smaller time frame structures, but nothing compared to what we would be looking for on a larger scale time frame, right? And for now, these are the levels. This is the trade setup. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe and let me know what else you want me to cover, and I'll do my best to do that in the days and weeks ahead. And until then, I hope you have a nice day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.